Om Shanti. Spark audiobook titled Self-Discipline. An article for BK teachers of BK children. Sister Diana has had experience teaching children from ages 2 to 17. She shares in this article her experiences with 2 to 5-year-old at a nursery in London and how self-discipline was developed. Self-discipline is a stable, positive self-awareness in a child. It implies that a child can discipline itself or can use self-discipline when it interacts with others. I was amazed when Drama, or perhaps Baba, introduced me to this job. I was not very happy because I did not know how to handle it, having had no experience with this age group before. Over the years, however, I have learned how to change it. Those children grow up under very tough conditions. At home, some encounter the problems of being in single-parent families in which the mother is working. When the mother brings the child to the nursery in the morning, there is very often little positive interaction seen. The few children in such circumstances are in need of a lot of care and love. The method for that turned out to be the implementation of cooperation activities. Over the space of 1 year, I practiced the principle of cooperation. Let me now share one experience of how cooperation aided the development of self-discipline in the children. When I first started, the children used to play on their own with Lego. There never used to be enough material, so the children used to fight over the Lego. I want this and I want that. Over the course of the year, I developed the practice of building just one thing together with the whole group cooperatively. It seems to have worked like magic. At first, I had to give the idea to the children, but now they do it automatically. Now there is hardly any fighting and they are joyful. That is what I would call discipline or positive self-awareness, that is using their specialities and using the natural way of interacting with other children and having fun when they build something together, because there is no question of this is mine or yours. The self-discipline of natural sharing has been developed. I quote also the example of a teacher who is in charge of the Sahahi Baba school in Thailand. She opened the school on the outskirts of the city, near the slums. Though the school itself was for quite wealthy people, when the opening came, many rich people had come. The slum children also came and were looking at everything. There is the custom in Thailand of removing shoes outside before entering the rooms. When it was time to go home, one pair of very new and beautiful shoes was missing. The owner had to go home barefooted. The next day, the headmistress noticed that the slum children were loitering around. She realized that they might have taken the shoes, but she did not approach them. She just invited them in and immediately from that day onwards opened up the class for those children also, giving them lots of love and feelings of acceptance. You know what happened next? A week later, the shoes suddenly appeared. So this is also a sign of positive self-awareness. When you give acceptance and the love that the children need, the lack of which is actually the cause of lack of discipline nowadays. There is self-discipline. When there is no cooperation, there is harshness and forced discipline. On the other hand, a lack of any kind of discipline will not allow any creativity or any positive communication to take place. Baba has given us the knowledge that there are two sets of sanskars. One type are the negative sanskars which emerge after telling children again and again that they have misbehaved, that they are bad and are doing this wrong. What is happening is that the badness is being reinforced and things become worse and worse, and then a barrier is established in communication between teacher and child. It's no longer a positive situation because the minute the child does something wrong, the teacher immediately reacts and reinforces negativity in the child. So you have to be aware that this attitude can lead you to deepen the negative sanskars and make a child misbehave to gain attention. Think of how children have come to Baba as well. They come bringing their karmic accounts with them. In Hong Kong, when we opened the children's class, there were children who knew each other. I mean, they were friends. But I observed that they had an enormous karmic account with each other. For example, if one of the children went through a positive phase, the other would be jealous and they would start to fight. That implied they had brought negative karmic accounts with them. They had negative traits within themselves, perhaps related to the way they had been brought up or otherwise. Baba has given us the ability to know how we can change and transform others just by seeing their specialities. We have at our disposal all of Baba's knowledge, virtues and powers to help the children to develop their positivity and self-discipline in a natural way. We also have the knowledge of games and activities of creativity available to us. For example, the cooperation games in the school's pack. With this, we can transform a child. If we were to just constantly repeat again and again activities related to cooperation, there would be positive development because children learn from copying and repetition. That leads to reinforcement, which means to emerge their own true sanskars, and subsequently leads to natural self-discipline born of feelings of well-being. The first thing a child learns is ABC. And so perhaps we teachers need to learn them too. A as in acceptance. When Brahmin children or any children come to us, if we accept them how they are and practice positive self-awareness, they will automatically change. Baba always says that every child can change if you have that hope. Dadi Janki also once said, "Don't see a person with their faults and stamp them accordingly. Instead, we should change them through the understanding of Gyan and with the aid of acceptance, creating a loving and caring atmosphere." B as in benevolence. The teachers need to make the effort to see the specialities in the children. The way that a teacher becomes benevolent is by finding the speciality in a child. Through deep understanding, through having virtues and powers oneself, the teacher becomes the example. C as in cooperation means that we are doing something together and that we have to agree to do one thing together with everyone giving their own specialities or virtues into the task. There is one decision and everyone gives their contribution. 7 considerations for self-discipline. Number 1. Activities. There are those type of activities through which virtues or values can be brought out in the children and which will change their nature and attitude in an enjoyable way. Number 2. Security. We have to create security because when children come, they are insecure. We have to create a secure environment with acceptance and an element of being carefree. Number 3. Routine. We also have to give the children a certain routine. Note how important a structure is for us adults in our spiritual education. We call it the Brahmin timetable. I also learnt this in the nursery. Children need a structure or a system. They need, for example, to know what is coming next. Security is encouraged by acceptance and care together with building up a structure or routine. All the teachers also have to follow that structure, otherwise the children will not feel secure. We first have to create the structure together, that is, cooperate and then follow it together. Number 4. Homework. We need to give children some homework and let them share their experience the following day. Homework need not be heavy. For example, you could at the end of a session with the children tell them, let's say something nice to someone tomorrow, which may be something nice to their teacher, their mother, their friend, or anyone, and ask them later to share their experiences. Number 5. Trikaldarshi. The teacher's attitude must be Trikaldarshi. Just as Baba is so positive about us, seeing us in our final forms, we also can keep this positive thought in our minds about the children. The final result of a child's education is within the child already. We know about positivity, about the virtues and the powers, and that they are unlimited. They become so when we no longer look at the defects. No criticism. Number 6. Teachers' dharna. Teachers should not get angry nor force anything, because by being angry, they are reinforcing the negative traits and it leaves a deep impression on the children. Respect is also lost. The teacher has this responsibility of imbibing first before he can give guidance, virtues and powers to the children. Number 7. Baba's knowledge must be part of the building process. Example, building up their self-discipline. We ourselves need discrimination power if the children are to know what is right and wrong. Otherwise, would they ever be able to develop self-discipline? Self-discipline makes the intellect strong, and then thoughts, words and actions become positive so the child can change. Activities. Cooperation is the key to self-discipline. To develop self-discipline in children, it requires, firstly, the constant practice of affirming positive behavior. Secondly, keeping them occupied with good and stimulating activities. And thirdly, the constant practice of cooperation. When children learn to cooperate, all feelings of anxiety and the pressure of having to win or the feeling of being a failure are transformed into feeling good about themselves. The following activities help educators create an atmosphere of goodwill, creativity, enthusiasm and harmony. Such an atmosphere is one in which the children develop a natural self-discipline based on feelings of self-confidence, being accepted and loved, and one in which they will have gained a positive self-awareness in general. Positive self-awareness. 2 activities to develop confidence and positive self-esteem which lead to natural self-discipline. Number 1. Silhouettes. Prepare life-size cutouts of the children, which the children decorate with either bits of paper or cloth. The face and hair need to be carefully finished to look a bit like them. The important thing is that the children stick the bits on collectively in groups. Number 2. Our hands. What can they do? Children are made aware of what their hands can do, namely good and bad. We discuss the feelings of being smacked or pushed, and conversely the feeling of being hugged or being given something nice. We come out to the conclusion that we want to try using our hands for good things. Take handprints of every child and cut them out. Ask the children to arrange the cut-out hands in a circle on a large sheet of colored paper and then to stick them down. Get the children to sit in a circle time. Ask every child what nice things they would like their hands to do and write them down within the circle of cut-out hands. Create a simple song or poem using their answers. Children love it. The same workshop can be done with our feet and also with the words we say through our mouths. Next, affirmations book. Keep a notebook for affirmations. Write in it all the good things you observe the children say or do during the day. Let them know what you wrote down in circle time. Children love it when you affirm their positive behavior. Furthermore, they begin to automatically repeat the positive behavior again and again without you having to reward them. That is then what is called self-discipline. Next, affirmation circle. During circle time, Spend a few minutes to say something positive about each child. If you repeat that again and again, children will become able to see good in themselves as well as in other children and will express it. Next, trust and gentleness. 4 activities to develop trust, gentleness and security. Next, guide dog. Pair off the children. One child pretends to be the dog and the other the blind person. The dog guides the blind person. Next, mirror. In pairs, the children face their partners and as one moves a hand or makes an expression on their face, the other has to do exactly the same, as though looking into a mirror. Alternatively, you can have one person doing the actions and all the rest of the children mirroring them. Next, musical squat. Children move round in a circle facing in the direction of movement. When the music stops, the whole circle sits down on the lap of the person behind them. If they each clasp the vest of the person in front of them and gently lower themselves on the lap of the person behind, it is quite easy if the circle does not collapse. Then everyone has won. Next, helping each other stand up. The pairs face each other sitting on the floor, holding hands and without letting go. Pull each other up into a standing position. Then they can try it sitting back to back. Next, cooperation crafts. Crafts to practice cooperation, working as a group on one thing together. Cards. Make cards from large cardboard boxes with a string to pull them. The cards can be either painted or decorated with bits of paper. The children can then give each other rides by pulling one passenger at a time. Next, robots. Make robots from washing powder boxes, etc. and then play the robot game. Children are in pairs, one being the robot and the other the operator. The robot has an imaginary switch on the shoulder. The robot moves straight ahead, and when he gets stuck in front of a wall or when the operator presses the switch on shoulder, the robot changes directions. Next, one picture. 2 to 5 children draw one picture together on one piece of paper. Next, one house. A group of 2 to 5 children build a house together from small boxes. Next topic, star activities for quietness and peace. Activities to get in touch with the inner being of quietness and peace. Number 1. Talk to the children about stars. They shine or sparkle. They can be seen but cannot be heard, and so they are quiet and peaceful. While you are speaking, let the children experience these two qualities, quietness and peace, and ask them, can you be as peaceful and as quiet as the stars? This has to be practiced again and again until even the hyperactive children like doing it and join in completely. Number 2. Draw stars on a large piece of paper and let the children draw happy faces in the stars. This makes them come alive, a sort of happy star family. Talk about this happy star family, describing what they are like, what and how they play and interact, etc. Make up a story, song, etc. together with the children. Next topic, relaxation meditation activity. Step 1. Ask the children to lie on the floor or sit comfortably. Ask them to move their feet and legs and then to switch them off so that they become absolutely still. The same is done with the middle part of the body, hands and arms, the neck, the head and the mouth, so that all that is left to move is a little star shining in the center of the forehead. This little star shines quietly and peacefully. Children love this exercise and it can be practiced again and again until all children can do it. Step 2. Practice step 1 first and then expand with step 2, which is spoken as a guided commentary together with soft background music. The little star goes on a journey. It flies up to the sky and sits on a white cloud. The little star flies back to the center of the forehead. and makes all the parts of the body move again. The mouth, then head, then neck, etc. One by one, they all begin to move again, but they move quietly and gently, etc. This part can be extended to being with the little stars of your classmates on the white cloud. You play together and have so much pleasure. You smile happily at them, you shine love on them, etc. etc. Variation. You, the little star in the center of your forehead, look up to the sky. There you see a lovely and bright star, sparkling very beautifully. You feel drawn to that star and you fly towards him. And now you sit in front of that loving and peaceful star. This star knows you and he showers all his love or peace or happiness on you and he says nice things to you. Oh, you feels good. Next topic, Teachers Workshop Questions. Number 1. What can make it possible for our BK children to develop self-discipline? Number 2. Explore cooperation as a method to develop self-discipline. Number 3. What have we, the teachers, done within ourselves that can enable the children to develop self-discipline? Number 4. How do you recognize a child with self-discipline? What would be the effect of that one child on the group? Om Shanti.